Yeah, we can go ahead and start. Okay, good. Yeah, so I think we can go ahead and start it and let people join in the meantime. There's not a waiting room. We will not be interrupted. And the people who, you know, not get a chance to log in today will have a link to download our recording and to hear what we have to say. Um, so my name is Jason Liu, the president and CEO of Fair Fencing Organization. This is a very new organization, and although it was founded last year, but we really released to the public less than 1 month ago. So, to the general fencing community, we are very new, and this is the first meeting that we have all our board members and most of our executive members in the meeting. And okay, right, I understand that, you go. To start, I think let me introduce, most importantly, let me introduce Ms. McNerney, and who is our chairwoman, that she is leading the board. And Ms. McNerney, if someone had a chance to look at our website, Ms. McNerney has a fabulous resume. And so let me just call out a few items that on her profile. Ms. McNerney served as a director of public and media relations at several nonprofit organizations, including the United Way of America, where she was responsible for development of new strategic partnerships and the maintenance of corporate relations with Fortune 500 companies, including national campaigns with Atlanta Committee for the Olympic Games and the National Football League. In addition, she was responsible for constituent relations, educational and issues outreach to 1,400 member organizations. Ms. McNerney served as the Assistant Secretary and the Director of Public Affairs for the Department of Transportation from 2017 to 2020. She was the U.S. President appointed press officer for the United States Peace Corps and for the Federal Housing Finance Board under the Bush administration. She was the Director of Public Relations for the World Vision, the International Relief and Development Agency. In addition, Ms. McNerney worked as a speechwriter and a press secretary for the U.S. congressional members and managed political campaigns throughout the country. So that's the brief introduction about Ms. McNerney, and I will personally warmly welcome Ms. McNerney to give us some talk and tell us more about, herself and why she wanted to lead this organization.
Oh, thank you so much, Jason. Your words are very kind, and I think they make me feel very old. I think of all the things you noted, all have been great achievements in my life, but like many of you who will become, we hope, part of fairfencing.org, I am also the mother of 2 athletes at the college and high school levels. And so I have a great understanding and appreciation for the hard work that parents and coaches and our student athletes put into developing their skills and the passion that they put into everything. My goal in participating, and I'm so honored to be here, is to ensure that with the opportunities that we have, that we are creating equal opportunity and excitement and understanding so people can excel in the sport of fencing. It has always been my greatest passion to tell stories. And I hope in my involvement with fairfencing.org, I can share my experiences and really work to build kind of public understanding of the great student athletes that we have within this organization. As you know, for those of us who have sat and worked on this, our goal is to have a national platform of education, communication, and collaboration within this field. It's our goal and our mission statement to boost college participation in fencing under the NCAA rules, to collaborate with great organizations like USA Fencing to improve professionalism and courteous conduct among all participants and stakeholders within the sport, to promote fairness and equality within fencing, and of course, to continue to be an advocate for safe sport in fencing, as noted in the U.S. Center for Safe Sport activities. As we will discuss today, our goal is to have open communication and collaboration. It's our intent to work collaboratively with well-established organizations like USA Fencing to promote fairness and inclusion within this very important sport that I personally feel has been greatly misunderstood over the course of time. This is a sport that has been growing exponentially in the last few years. But if we look at it in a common everyday circumstance, it is not televised. It is not covered within the news. And very often, if we ask people about fencing, their reference might be at important events like an Olympic event. So the understanding, certainly in the United States, is very limited. And looking at it historically, you know, it is really unique that fencing was introduced in the United States in the 1750s, with the first program at the college level being, of course, at Harvard, which almost took another 100 years to achieve. But the sport, even with its early, you know, toehold in the United States, has not really captured what I would call this great mass appeal at the college level. And despite those very early beginnings that I just mentioned, today only under 50 of the 1,100 NCAA schools have a fencing program. And when I look at how the participation has grown, especially for those under, 16 and under, that is often a travesty, because where will these student athletes continue to grow once they go to college? As I look at it, USA Fencing said very recently that in the 1980s, that they had under 50 members who were under the age of 15. Today, that number is over 15,000. So my goal in participating with this wonderful group is to use the resources we have with the campaign that we plan to launch to broaden the reach and understanding of the sport. I was actually shocked. When I look at the sport of fencing, I see strength, I see integrity, I see strategy, I see students who learn critical thinking and reaction. And that's why it almost hurt me, and I'm very new to the sport, that last year the New York Times said fencing at the college level was a clique, and that it remained still a niche sport. When indeed, I think that this sport is creating individuals with bright futures who have individual dedication, who have passion, who understand resilience and strategy. So it's my hope to join with all of you and all the stakeholders that we bring together, parents, student athletes, coaches, and other stakeholders, to begin to create the strategy that will tell the story of fencing within the United States, to broaden its participation within the NCAA colleges, and to continue to build really the understanding and professionalism and the outcomes that I think are so important for our student athletes as we go on. So I'm looking forward to our dialogue today, and I'm looking forward to serving all of you and to growing understanding of this very important organization. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you, Ms. McNerney. Your words is very encouraging, and we definitely wanted to, achieve what we wanted to do based on under your leadership. So we are very honored to serve this team and to serve this organization as well. And the next one is our board member, and I will just go by whoever showing up on my screen in that order. So the Sergey, Mr. Sergey Gubliski. And so let me, this is also on our website, and you can see Mr. Gubliski's profile. But I think in the fencing field, few people doesn't know him. Just because the great achievement that Sergey and Gubliski have already achieved in the 2000 Olympics, fifth place, 1999 world champion, 1998 world champion, 1997 world champion. So there are lists of the things going on his resume, and no one, I don't think I need to spend more time to introduce him to the other folks. So Sergey, you would like to say a few words?
Yeah, hi everyone. It's my pleasure to be here with everyone who is watching now. It's very hard to find new words after what's just been said, but I try to. Well, yeah, I achieved some good things in fencing as a fencer. I'm also being a coach for some time now. I used to work in many countries like Italy, Netherlands, Germany, Austria, and now USA. I've been a national coach in Germany, so I attended 2 Olympic Games, 2008 in Beijing and 2012 in London for Germany. I don't want to also tell too much about myself about the titles, but what I want to add that sure, I'm a club owner, Golubitsky Fencing Center in Tustin, California. Also, I wrote and published my book, Fencing is My Life, in English, French, and Russian languages. And I'm expecting, hopefully, that this year, my book gonna be published in China in Chinese language. So, as you all know, the name of our organization is Fair Fencing Organization. So the idea, of course, is to make things fair, to make things transparent, that everyone, parents, coaches, club owners, they know their rights, and then should be able to know what's going on in this sport. And it's true that we all wish that there will be many more colleges where the NCAA program where fencing would be present, because sincerely, this sport is very popular in Europe. It's ancient sport, which was in the program of very first Olympic Games. But in the US, we cannot compete with sports like basketball, baseball, football. And so we really need this exposure in positive lights, and to make sure that we can, since American fencers are very strong, winning many medals at the international arenas, the Olympic Games or World Championships. So I think we deserve better, and I hope for all of us that this our organization gonna make everything possible to make it better. Thank you.
Thank you, Sergey. So both Andrew and Igor, I know you guys have students competing, but do you still have a few minutes to say a few words?
You're calling to whom?
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
okay. So I know. Let me start with Andrew because that's how Andrew showed up on my screen, and I think in the Apple world, few people doesn't know Andrew. Andrew has just as extensive fabulous background like Sergey, and 2023, and Ms. Giva, Andrew Giva, was inducted to the USA Fencing Hall of Fame. 2016 Rio Olympic coach for the Team USA Women's épée. 2020 Tokyo Olympic coach for the Team USA Women's épée. And there are lists of the titles on the resume. It's all on our website. People can look. And so I would like to introduce, Mr. Andrew Giva, and I hope he can say a few words to the audience.
Yes, hello everyone. I'm very happy to be here in this forum. And yes, I'm head coach of Alliance Fencing Academy, one of the biggest epic club in the US. Also, the reason I'm mentioning this because we managed to come both high competitive level. Our students get medals. We have 5 world champions, 3 Olympians, more than 20 world medalists, over 50 national champions. And at the same time, we are making money as a club. So we just moved to a 21,000 square feet facility, and we purchase this facility with the money earned in fencing. And I think it's very important. So I want to contribute. I want to share my experience, my knowledge in the field of fencing and business. I think it's very important that I can contribute, to your fencing, share ideas. So this is my reason why, and of course, like Sergey mentioned before, that I joined the Fair Fencing organization because fencing to me is a gentleman's sport. It's should be fair, should be straight, should be much more transparency. I would like to say, and the reason I would, because I would.
Hey, Miss Kiva, and I think your voice is cracking. You may not have a good signal there.
Can you hear me? No.
Now it's better. Now it's better.
Maybe I will go. Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Now, yes. Now I can hear you.
Okay. So basically, yes, I like I said, I want to be involved on all aspects of fencing in the US. I live here. My kids are here. My kids are fencing. I'm also a fencing parent, and I want to see our organization, USA Fencing, a better place. I want to be a voice. I want to give more voice to and parents, and because we are stockholders, we are those who bring money to the USFA, and I believe our voices should be heard. I also would like to see more professionals in the leading position in US fencing, and that's why we're trying to gather as many professional people as possible, and together we can share our views, our opinions, our experience, and make this organization, USA Fencing, better, which is good for fencing in general and for our kids, for our future champions.
Right. Right. Good.
Hello.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, Andre. Thank you, Andre. And Igor, you want to say a few words? Let me briefly introduce Mr. Igor. I think the last name should call Chirashina, right? If I
Chirashina, you're very close. Very close.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Very good. Well, Igor Chirashina is a multifaceted individual, blending the role of entrepreneur, business owner, accomplished writer, and a dedicated father for 4 competitive fencers. And also there's a list of the good things that he has done that in his profile on our website. But I would like to give the time to Igor and have Igor say a few words for us.
Okay. Thanks, Jason. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Excellent. So thanks again, and it's kind of you put me in a difficult position after Marianne, Sergey, and Andrei, so they covered a lot of things. But a few words about me, and then what I see for the future. So first of all, as I said, I came to fencing as the sport of my passion after being an entrepreneur in high-tech business and selling founding and selling my company, and then being able to do what I love, open a fencing club and trying to introduce fencing to as many people as possible. And in the last decade, it went from 0 to one of the largest clubs in USA. So I believe we do something right. And the way that I see it, as I often say, 20, 30 years ago, nobody knew about American fencing. You would go to any international competition and any fencer that got on his or her pass, an American fencer will say, oh, I have a lucky day today. It's going to be an easy pass. But starting from beginning of this century, American fencing is one of the most dominant powers in fencing world. And Marianne mentioned that 25 years ago, 30 years ago, there were less than 50 kids participating in a sport. Now it's several thousand more. And what I think we need to do is to bring the organization to the next level. We are already much bigger sport domestically. We are definitely one of the biggest fencing powers in the world, but there are a lot of things that are done the old way, done without consideration of who are the constituents that are driving the sport, being it parents, fencers themselves, coaches. And a lot of these aspects, they continue to be done the same way that they done, or very close to the same way that that was done like 20, 30 years ago. And I think now we have much more power and should have much more power in establishing the sport going forward in many aspects, from perspective of how we develop the fencer, how we develop the sport, how we develop the future collegiate opportunities, how we develop the sport beyond college, so we can have a very, very strong a lineup of senior level fencers that are not going to retire after they finish college, but have some more opportunities. How we support parents while they're in the sport, and how we support children, how we support coaches that want to create better programs, how we create this better programs. A lot of things. And I think with Fair Fencing Organization, we can have a huge power, both intellectual and financial, to tackle these issues, to think about them, and a lot. It's a huge things. And it's not a matter of one or two people that are smart, because this community has a lot of extremely smart people, well educated, very, very diverse, that can bring a lot of knowledge to address these issues and to bring us to the next level, from being a sport of enthusiasts to really sport that is driven by huge success in every aspect of it. So that, I think, would be good. And again, I echo whatever people before me said, because I think it's right. And that's additional thing that I believe we can address them successfully with a huge power that this organization can get from its members and energy.
Right. Well, thank you, Igor. Okay, so and here comes our last board member, Ms. Charles Wang, and I think a lot of people have known him now since the last legal education seminar. Ms. Charles Wang is the pro bono general counsel of FFO, and he is an internationally renowned lawyer and a legal scholar. He currently serves as a senior partner and the chairman of Asian Pacific Practice Group of a Washington, D.C.-based litigation law firm. So, Mr. Charles Wang, and please say a few words to our audience.
Oh, well, many of our members already know me. Let me start by first saying in the past decades, actually more than a decade, I had the privilege and honor to develop a career with our chairwoman, Secretary McNerney. Well, we built a very diverse team with white Americans, African Americans, Russian Americans, Asian Americans, Arabic Americans. We built such a diverse team, with both Democrats and Republicans, liberals and conservatives, for the common good of the business. We built business from ground up. Many of our former colleagues are still very active in politics, in business, and in community services. So I am honored to be in this board again with world-renowned coaches, athletes, and my old colleague, Secretary McNerney. And I am a kind of retired from my business, and I resumed my legal practice in a law firm in Washington, D.C. I share and support the full mission of FFO. I'm going to dedicate my legal service to FFO to further its missions and also to protect FFO members' legal rights. That's all I have to say. It's very happy to join you.
Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Charlie. So, and the last one that who has people can see is our He Zhang, who is the COO of Fair Fencing. And He, you would like to say a few words?
Okay, I did not prepare for this, but yeah, my name is He Zhang, but the English pronunciation is he, so I'm okay with either way. You can call me he or he. So I work for petroleum consulting company for about 12, 13 years. Before that, I moved to US in 2003, finished my graduate study, then joined Schlumberger, which is a larger oil field service company. I started to get into fencing through my daughter, who is an avid fencer in Alliance Club under the guidance from Andre. He's my daughter's coach and friend, actually our family friend. So I'm very happy to be with FFO. I see there might be some things we can work together and build a fencing society for betterment. So that's all for me.
Thank you. Okay, so here's another one that I almost missed, and Mr. Fred Wong, who's our CFO. And Fred, would like to say a few words?
Thank you, Jesse. My name is Fred Wang. I've been working with banks such as Morgan Stanley, Citigroup, and ING for over 17 years. As it's my honor to be the CFO of Fair Fencing organization. My job in the organization is to ensure transparency and compliance of all monetary transactions. We have filed a registration with IRS for 501c tax-exempt status on nonprofit organizations pending official approval. We're in the process of opening a bank account. We have been operating with donations and commitments from the founding executive members and board directors. It's a new organization from scratch. The team is taking a lot of challenges with the goal of making fencing a more fair experience for fencers, coaches, referees as well, and parents. And I'm very glad to join the team and contribute my time and energy.
Thank you, Fred. Okay, all right. So and now I think it comes to me, and the FFO has a public letter that to the entire community, and so I like to read out loud to everybody. So that is a long letter, and it talks about all different things on who we are, why we founded this organization, what we are going to do, and but first thing I wanted to say that if there is any questions that you would like to ask while you are listening to this public letter, please type in the Q&A session, and we can answer that after this presentation. So let me bring up this letter so I can read it aloud for us. So, dear fencers, coaches, parents, referees, and club members, after nearly a year of deliberation and coordination, we proudly introduce you Fair Fencing Organization, FFO, a nonprofit organization founded by fencers, parents, coaches, referees, and people who love the sport. FFO is a national platform of open communication and mutual understanding for all stakeholders in the fencing community, and a watchdog for the fairness, transparency, professionalism, and safety of the sport. I am a first-generation immigrant, so as most of our board members and the executive teams in the organization. We came to this country knowing America is a land of freedom and personal liberty. It values fairness, meritocracy, and equality so that many of our immigrants with almost nothing when coming to this country had an opportunity to succeed and achieve American dream. We are not alone in the fencing community, and many fencing parents, coaches, referees, even club owners are immigrants too. All of us, whether we're born in this country or immigrated to America, are gathering here today because we, our children, or our students love fencing. Fencing is an undervalued sport in the US. Most of the media coverage are focused on football, basketball, baseball, golf, tennis, etc. Our young fencers, generation after generation, work tirelessly every day on the sport, not for getting rich by playing in the pro team, not for being famous on the national TV, but for the love and the passion for fencing. Young fencers' parents continuously spend their hard-earned money in financing the sport, not because they don't know the physical reality of how expensive fencing can be, but because they know the sport can help their children build strength and character, physically and mentally, being a team player and a team leader, go to a good school, which will all benefit the children in the long run. Fencing, though still a very niche sport in the US, has boomed in the recent decades, thanks to the parents who have brought in new fencers into the sport every year. In this fencing circle, we have many stakeholders: fencers, parents, referees, coaches, clubs, vendors, and the national governing body, USA Fencing Association. But one thing I wanted to make it very clear: the fencers who compete the sport, the coaches who dedicate themselves in teaching the fencers, the parents who provide financial support for the sport are the cornerstones of the business. All the other stakeholders are working to help, facilitate, and service them in the ecosystem. Any misunderstanding on this will lead to a very different perspective on the reality. Parents are not just spectators. They are the financial backbone of the industry. For most fencing families, the only visible gain of doing fencing is probably the college recruiting. Parents want their children to go to a school, a better school or university with fencing where the children may not be able to go without. This is an open secret, but also an undeniable fact. The NCAA fencing teams now have probably the best college fencing teams in the world. Furthermore, our fencers who compete in the NCAA college games have the highest GPA among all NCAA sport teams. We are proud of what those fencers have accomplished both athletically and academically. However, with the fencers are now tripled comparing to a decade ago, the universities have fencing teams have not increased, if not decreased overall. With so many excellent fencers are now graduating from high schools each year, we should expand NCAA varsity fencing teams to more colleges and universities. This is the #1 mission that Fair Fencing Organization will be devoted to. We certainly hope this is the #1 priority for USA Fencing as well. Besides the fencers, our fencing community never short of capable people. Many of our parents are subject experts in their own fields, some with strong alumni connections with the universities, some with financial resources that may be crucial for a school to set up a fencing team. Many of our coaches are very experienced and have trained fencers all the way to the Olympics. Many of our referees have highest referee credentials in the US, and some are FIE certified. Many club owners who are former or current coaches or even parents are playing a vital role in bringing young kids into the sport of fencing. We have vast resources in our fencing network. FFO would like to become such a platform of education, communication, cooperation, and mutual understanding for all stakeholders. After its debut less than 1 month ago, FFO has successfully conducted a college athlete recruiting seminar, a legal education seminar, and a tournament preparation seminar. We are going to have many similar events to promote NCAA fencing teams, discussing the techniques and the rules for each weapon, discover how referees are looking for from the fencers in order to make a call, and much more. Fencing in the United States is on an upward trend in the recent years, with the number of young athletes participating in sport growing rapidly and our fencers achieving impressive results on the international stage. USA Fencing Association, from an organization with only a few hundred members 40 years ago, has now grown to over 40,000 members strong. USFA has done a great deal of work bringing the sport to the current level. However, despite its success, the growing pain has inevitably arisen within USFA and the industry, from its policy and governance to the technology and the training. That is another reason why we founded Fair Fencing Organization. With the solid foundational support of our members, we position ourselves as a watchdog for the industry. Meanwhile, we still hope to work with USFA in a mutually cooperative manner to promote the sport. As our slogan on the website states, we strive to improve fairness, transparency, professionalism, and safety in fencing. Those are not just mumbo jumbo words, and the words have meanings. So let me elaborate each of the areas. 1. Fairness. Under the current leadership, USFA has become an organization with a strong political attachment. USFA announced a policy that it will prioritize the states supporting women's abortion rights for the NAC locations. This essentially means USFA will primarily host the NACs in the coastal states. Families who have participated in the NACs all know that it is more expensive to run and attend NACs in the coastal states than in the central region of the country. It adds more time and financial burden to literally everyone who does not live in the region. The direct flight across the continent takes 6 to 7 hours, not to mention often it requires a connecting flight. Is such a policy fair to the fencers and fencing families? USFA is not a political organization. Is it fair to put political preference of some policymakers above the interests of vast majority of fencing community? For most of the fencing families, safe and convenient location, well-maintained venue facility, and affordable pricing are what they concern the most with a tournament city. USA Fencing is a sport organization, while its management is making its position clear in the domestic political debate. It should nevertheless focus on its primary mission in its operations, promoting the sports and running the tournament. Fencing should be open to everyone regardless of age, gender, or race, but the competition should be fair. USFA's transgender policy totally disregards the fact that biological males already gain physical advantages during and after the puberty. USFA's categorical allowance of the transgender woman to woman fencing based on former self-identification is not only unfair to biological woman athletes, but also unfair to the true transgender women who have endured such many efforts to make the transition. For example, under USFA's current rules, a self-declared transgender woman can compete in the cadet level or lower at will for any given season. Literally, a biological male fencer can simply register as a transgender to compete in women fencing for 1 season and change back to compete in the fencer's biological sex next year. Anyone who has watched fencing in NAC can tell you how faster and stronger 16-year-old boys are comparing to the same-aged girls. It is such an unthoughtful and a capricious policy really geared to protect transgender and women athletes. to promote more women and transgender to participate in the sports, or is barely a statement for a political show, while no true fairness is being considered for either transgender or women fencers. Some USFA Access members may have noticed that in the past couple of months, the USFA website have changed multiple times back and forth regarding Access members' voting rights. It went from Access member having the voting rights to only competitive members have the voting rights. Now back to Access member have the voting rights. The right to vote is one of fundamental rights as USFA members. It is the financial contribution of USA members that keeps USA fencing in operation. Any attempt to abolish members' voting rights is not only unfair, but also a breach of membership agreement between USFA and its Access members. 2. Transparency. USFA bylaw is a lengthy document, but with a lot of ambiguity. There are over 20 committees and councils like nomination committee, referee committee, election committee, athlete council, etc. How are these committees, councils created? How do they operate? Whom do they report to? What are the criteria used by the nomination committee to recommend a board member candidate? As USFA members, we know little about them. How are the USFA policy made and who is responsible for approving them? When was the last time you saw a financial report from USFA on its operations? Therefore, in this sense, USFA is a non-profit organization owned by its members, similar to the homeowner association in our residential community. We expect transparency in its board member selections, transparency in its organizational structure, and transparency in its policy making. 3. Professionalism. The experience and the quality of the referees have long been a major concern for our fencers, coaches, and fencing parents. Fencers, particularly foil and saber, or fencing, particularly foil and saber, is a sport where referees play a large role in the result of the game. Athletes must respect the authority of the referees in the field and understand that even best referees can make mistakes. It is the professional requirement for the athletes to show respect to the referee and the opponent and accept the result of the game. On the other hand, fencers hope that the referees, especially neck referees, have considerable professionalism and experience, and that they can continue to learn and improve their refereeing skills through the tournaments. Therefore, we are developing a system that allows contestants to upload video clips of their own bouts using their mobile phones or computers after the game. And senior referees at the national or FIE level will perform a video review. This system will be launched on our website, fairfencing.org website in a few months. This video review is not attempting to challenge the outcome of the game. The review and comments provided by the senior referees will help the fencers to know whether the referee's call at the time was correct or not, and what the actions were. If permitted by the contestant, we will share the review result with the referee of the game and publish to the entire fair fencing community. It is a tool for both the referees and the fencers to improve their professional skills. 4. Safety. We support the U.S. Center for Safe Sport and Safe Sport Code. Only by providing a safe training and competition environment for athletes, especially young athletes, can athletes and parents engage in and support the sport with a peace of mind. The vast majority of fencing clubs and coaches in the U.S. support and abide by these safety regulations. We are going to invite U.S. Center for Safe Sport to conduct a safe sport training for the fencing community. However, following the U.S. Center for Safe Sport Code does not mean that someone can punish parents, coaches, and clubs without investigation. There are clear legal boundaries and due process required. Fair fencing organization with a strong legal team We'll continuously provide our members with legal education in this area and provide legal consultations depending on the situation. We joined the USA Fencing because our children or our students love the sport. We need our organization to pool our resources together and endorse candidates who support our visions to the USFA Board of Directors. We also need our organization to collectively represent our common interest to communicate with USA Fencing. In cases where our members' legal rights are violated, FFO will, on behalf of our members, communicate with USFA, and if all such efforts fail, FFO will support members to take ultimate legal actions to hold those responsible and legally accountable. When Students for Fair Admission was established, for people who doesn't know what the Students for Fair Admission is, you probably can Google that. It was very famous last year, and when they won the lawsuit against Harvard. So few people could have imagined that 2 years later, after the organization was founded, they would win against Harvard University, overturning affirmative action and reshape the college admission process. Similarly, Fair Fencing has the mission of seeking fair rights for every fencer and the entire fencing community as a whole. We will make fencing and the USFA fair, more transparent, more professional, and safer. So now it comes to why we have this meeting today. We invite everyone who agree with our beliefs to join us free on our website, fairfencing.org. At this time, our membership registration is only open to existing USFA members. In the future, we will open membership registration to non-USFA members. All FFO member information is kept confidential at Fair Fencing and will not be shared with any other organization or individual. Any organization or individual who attempts to retaliate against Fair Fencing or its members is a serious violation of state sport code and U.S. federal and state laws, and it will be met with our strongest legal response. We also warmly welcome anyone who have the passion to serve the community join our operations team. And if you have any questions, please feel free to send email to info@fairfencing.org. Of course, if you are in this session, in this seminar, please ask your question in the Q&A session. What we are doing today will build a fairer and better future for our current upcoming generation of fencers for years to come. Together, we will make a difference. Thank you. So that is the public letter and the Fair Fencing organization and send it to the entire fencing community. So we will publish this on our website and along with the recording of today's seminar. So so if anybody have any questions and would like to ask me or any board members anything, and it's a good time to do so. And any other board members, if or the panelists, if you would like to pitch in and say a few words, please welcome. Well, I know that it's in the middle of the tournament, so probably a few some parents or some fencers are still in competition. And it's probably the final now for the woman, for the men's warrior. Oh, okay. So let me do that. Michael. Okay. Let's see. Allow. Oh, okay. Let me see how would I do that. Wait. How would I? Okay, I cannot make you a panel. Is there a way you can type the question? I know that you probably better wanted to speak. Let me do this, Fred. Maybe I bring you down and hold on. Oh, I'm sorry. I am not. I know why now. Hey, her, John. Hey, you are the host now, not me. So can you please open up for Michael? Michael Marks?
Okay, sure.
Yeah, so Michael, you can talk now, I guess.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. Andre invited me on this, and I see many people I know. And first off, I'd like to say I've been involved in fencing most of my life. I'm 65, and I've been doing it since I was 10. And I appreciate what you're doing. Just want to, by listening to your letter was wonderful. You explain things very kindly in a way that often we could have said, what the hell are you doing? And so I appreciate all that. And I'm fully on board to support you in any way I can. I've been involved in fencing in more ways than you ever want to know. So my background is pretty vast, and I fully support what you're doing. Hello, Sergey. I knew Sergey and Andre when they were young kids. That's how old I am.
Hi, Michael. Yeah, hi.
Hey, guys. I love what you're doing. You got some, you have some powerful people. And in just short, I'll say a little background. I've been involved in USA Fencing since I was 18 at Athletes Rep. I was a national coach. I was coached many world teams. I was vice president of USA Fencing, the worst 4 years of my life. Been on many boards. I'm currently the chair of the coach advisory resource team. Connected with many people, and there aren't many people I don't know when I walk onto a fencing floor. And hopefully I've kept enough integrity in the sport that I have a voice. So I would like to support you in any way. I really appreciate the way you guys have approached this. And fencing is possibly, and I, just before you know, I tend to be very inclusive. Before joining this meeting, I spoke with Glenn, who works at the national office, and told him comfortably that he's the one I'm comfortable speaking with right now, because there are so many people I don't have a lot of comfort in right now. And then I spoke with Phil, I spoke with Brad, all the people involved with USA Fencing. And I told them if they want to make this work, they should actually be discussing with you or even get on this call. Because we want to work with our fingers wrapped around each other first. Otherwise, historically, it's just a he said, she said moment. And I don't want to see what you're doing fall to the wayside. It sounds very powerful. It sounds like you've got some good people together. And I'd like to support it just for the sake of fencing, if not for all the other reasons that you said.
It's Scotty. You know, I really appreciate Michael's support to our group. Michael, it takes two to dance, and it also takes time to get acquaintance. I'm confident under Secretary McNerney's leadership of the board and under Jason's leadership of the executive team, there will be time that USFA and FFO leaderships will have better understanding of each other. For today's webinar, you know, let's focus on all the positive things FFO can do for its members. And you know, after this webinar, I'm sure Jason and other executives would love to chat with you, Michael. Thank you so much for your encouragement and support.
Of course.
Thank you. And you know, whoever that have been our mailing list, or whoever pay attention to our, you know, the social media, or you know, we just started not too long ago, right? Everything's very new, and but we have broadcast that a lot in the Asian community that we have done, you know, probably 3 events already, right? This is the 4th event in the past only 4 weeks, right? So 1 event for a week. And our volunteers now becomes full-time job, you know, and you know, who knows this the best, right? So, and we are busy and trying to make the impact to the community in a positive way. And because most of the people who joining the membership and wanting to, gain knowledge, gain experience, and learn stuff and get useful information about the college, etc. So we like to provide those services. Those are our core competencies. Those how we can attract our members, and frankly, that's really our members want. This is a platform for everybody to share the experience, to share the knowledge, and we can leverage, right, the individual pieces that we're putting together, and so make the entire community better and stronger. So that's what we were trying to do. Yeah, and yeah, so Ms. McNerney, you would like to say a few more words?
I just wanted to say, Michael, I very much appreciated your comments, and I think that's a very important guiding light for us. I think as we continue to go forward, our North Star will be collaboration and inclusion. And while, as Charlie Wang has said, it will take two to dance, but also a lot of time. So we look forward to doing that. And I think today, Jason, I think you've shared an important part of our dialogue and where we plan to go. The events that have been created over the last few weeks are a very strong indication of the support that we want to give our student athletes and parents and all in the organization going forward. So there's a lot to come as we go forward. And I think today, those that have joined us, I hope you will share the important messages that we've brought forward, and we look forward to serving you and certainly your children as we grow.
Thank you. Well, okay, I guess then, yeah, I think today is a very effective meeting then, and I don't see any more questions than in the Q&A, and so I guess the only one question is thank you, so I appreciate that. Okay, so well, and you're recording, right, He Zhang? You're recording. Okay, all right, good. I think we've delivered our messages. And if there's no more questions, I would like to call this a day, just so that people can focus more on the games. And I know that the coaches probably have to head back to coaching the finals, I hope, right, Andre and Sergey. And I don't know if any one of your students made to the final round, but I know that you probably wanted to go back to the finals.
Yeah, I just want to add that it's very important, I think, to send, since we recorded this meeting, to send to as many, each one of them in our end can send it, to coaches and referees and official community, like in the US. It's very important that they will hear our statements that Jason was reading. And we will have many more people start joining our organization and be involved.
Yes, absolutely. That's definitely what we are going to do. And a lot of times people hear more things, and it's easier to start a dialogue. And
we want to meet in person, right, later today or right after the meeting. What's the plan?
Yeah, I mean, right now I'm in the room, but I'll be going to the venue. I think all of us will probably, the fencing team will go there. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Guess I'll say bye to everyone and see you in a few minutes in person.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Great
Bye-bye.
meeting, everyone. It was great.
Good luck to
Bye-bye.
everyone this weekend.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.